Okay, before I start this video, I'm gonna make a few announcements. 2 comic dubs has just been released on the main comic dub channel that I just started. A special thanks to all my voice actors involved in it, and a special thanks to the editor for helping me on the first micro dub. All links will be in the description as well as posted in here on the videos. We work really hard on it, but any critiques are necessary. And now to the video. Well, the season is finally over. What a ride that was. Hi there, Everypony, this is Mark, aka the Wolf Pony, and I'm here to discuss something that I've noticed recently. That being that Season 6 was a huge mixed reaction compared to the other seasons before it. Only this time the reaction all came from one character, and that is Starlight Glimmer. Oh, Glimmer, how I remember how things are back then. People have such a mixed reaction on whether you're a good character or not within this season. If you want to know, I like her, but there's a lot of issues I'm going to address here, so let's get the major one out of the way. Is Glimmer better as a villain and should have stayed that way? Well, if you ask me, I say yes, that she should have stayed as a villain a little while longer because we never seen a villain who can use tactics that could take out the main 6 despite her powerful magic. I was so invested in her because I always wanted a villain that is just a normal pony who knows her way around. This makes me beg that there be an Earth pony or a Pegasus villain in the near future. Glimmer has everything on what they can do if they really want her to be a recurring antagonist, but the show didn't really do that. Honestly, I wasn't too surprised when she's only in the background watching her every move. He's always watching. This is probably why people got so hyped in seeing her again, and when we got her, things didn't go the way as many would hope. Now, I understand why some are upset that a good villain was reformed, but however, I can see why they did that. You see, the show seems to be changing a lot within every season, which gives the main 6 something new to do, despite the fact that it has been irrelevant in some huge cases. It's a huge weakness from the very start that the show had. Every season that I know has this issue, with the exception of season 1 because the show back then was trying to establish a lot of things before jumping the risk that it had. But, however, one theme of the show that keeps on going is how the princess title has changed in here. Twilight from the very beginning was always meant to have the princess title after taking under Celestia's wing. Throughout the seasons, Twilight has earned so much respect and understand the meaning of all this, and it's pretty much the overall theme of the entire show. So what do you think is next on that big change? Yep, having her own personal student, and Glimmer seems to be the perfect candidate for her. Yes, while I admit her reformation really needed a bit more time, I was honestly very excited how they will take this. It seems to be a huge logical step to it. But then season 6 came and went, and what do we got? Only 5 episodes that really focus on her character, as the rest of the season stay like season 4 and 5. Yeah, you can pretty much tell why she is such a controversial character. But this does show a major problem with season 6. Not enough Glimmer to show that she is there with the main 6 or main 8. Yes, I'm counting Spike on this because if there's one thing that the season does right, it's Spike has a lot of good character here. But yeah, 5 fucking episodes is not enough for a new character to stand out. When you have a major cast member joining the fray, you need to develop as much time to make sure that we know more of him or her and her goals and character development. Without it, people will just think that she is just mostly there without anything to do, which unfortunately that is pretty much mostly the case. I really love the character, but when she's hardly there, I always get mad that they just shaft her a lot. It really feels like that the season never had her in mind, but as it turns out, I was actually right on that. The season was made with her only getting a small amount of time on screen, as we see these tweets of how the producer responds. It's honestly the worst decision to do when adding a new character. It's not like Discord where he's always a secondary and you can make the excuse that he's in his own dimension. But fine, she is a secondary character, so how are the episodes and what character art do we got in the majority of them? Okay, let's start with the crystalline. Oh, before I start, I'm not counting the times are changeling because that is a Spike focus episode. Now let's proceed.
Thing covered. Everything except how I'd rather do absolutely anything else.
Well, I bet she's taken that into account too. It's all part of the lesson. Trust the lesson.
Right.
Okay, after rewatching this for the 7th time, I still consider it a weak opener compared to the last ones. Except the pilot, because that one still has a lot of problems. But I have to say, this episode gives us a taste of Glimmer and what her character development could be, especially when Sunburst enters the table. You could really see why Glimmer acted the way she did because she was the only friend when they were children. Unfortunately, this episode had to focus on the baby, which I'm sorry, but I just found that story uninteresting. If this opener at least attempted to combine both stories or build on this story alone, then I feel we could have gotten the best opener ever. As it is, you only get a taste of it, and while it is a good taste in my opinion, it isn't enough to say we got a good introduction. Next, we got No Second Prances.
Those days? For me, they're all one of those days. I'm gonna start coming here every time I visit Ponyville.
I'm not from here either. I've been trying to make friends, but it's not easy.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. No Second Prances is the best episode of Season 6, and I feel half of the fandom gives too much hate for this! Yeah, I said it. Okay, to say that I don't understand the hate will be too much of me being stubborn. I get why, since people don't like Twilight's attitude and how she forgets that Trixie was reformed, but that's just it, people. To me, it's fixing what Season 3 did with Magic Duel. Now, tell me with a straight face if Trixie really is reformed. Come on, people, let's be honest. Magic Duel rushed that to high heaven, and ever since then, we never even heard of her actually meaning it. Unless you count comics, but guys, that is just B-canon and it shouldn't be used as an argument. I feel that Glimmer and Trixie are made for each other. They've both done horrible things to the main six, and seeing those two becoming friends and interacting with each other, this is what the show is about. I love every second of this episode, and it gives a whole new layer for Glimmer and Trixie. About damn time for Trixie, because since the last two episodes suck ass. I still stand by that this is the second best episode, and it really pisses me off that Glimmer never got more moments like these. Instead, the next episode that we get is this.
The equestrian transformation. No more shall any say. Happy heartswarming.
Okay, this episode is another tale of Christmas Carol, and oh my god, I'm so sick of this story. Look, I have seen like over 1,000 versions of this tale, and I'm just tired of it. The sad thing is that it didn't alter anything new to Glimmer other than the meaning of Christmas. The only thing that stands out here are the songs, and that is it. Everything else is bland, boring, and nothing new. But then the next episode comes in, and I had to ask, what the hell happened here?
Woo! I am on fire!
Okay, what the fuck? Before I rag on this episode, let me just say that the idea and lesson is good enough for me, at least. I get the point, and I love how she learned it and how she apologized, and I feel this could have been a good Lesson 0 version for Glimmer. But holy shit, this episode has cluttered itself. 5 stories into 1! I can barely understand the main focus of the story. This really feels like that they tried to cram in as much as they could to show that Glimmer was there throughout the season, but we know that is bullshit. Granted, I don't hate it, as I love the idea of Glimmer being so powerful that could explain why she is hesitant and shows why she doesn't want to have much friends. It gives a good reason why she's acting like the way she is. But other than that, this episode left a lot to be desired, which thankfully the season finale came in and holy shit did it fucking work.
A draconic quiz with magic and half a brain might help.
Why are you here again? I mean, it's not like you're going to stop the changelings by pulling a rabbit out of the hat. At least...
What a great way to end this season. Glimmer, along with some side characters, get the best moments out of this episode. Not to mention that this is a huge close-up to the Glimmer development at her current state. Right now, her character arc actually comes into full circle now. I feel that they've taken the best parts of Glimmer and actually ran through it throughout the entire 2 episodes. I wish I could say more, but I'm saving that for a review later on. But all I could say is that Glimmer really should have gotten more development just like this finale. This and No Second Prances shows the possibilities of what this character could do in many stories. Also, she hasn't left, which thank goodness, because that would have been a waste, so there might be a possibility that she might come in Season 7. Hopefully that fixes that. So yeah, 5 episodes and about 2 of them are worth the watch, while the others just had a lot of problems that I couldn't glance over. If I'm going to be honest, Season 6 did not do a good job of giving the character the justice it deserves. Look, Glimmer didn't have an excuse to not be there when she could have added a lot more to her character. I know Season 4 and 5 had a similar problem, but they still could get the excuse that their story's open for an episodic format, and one is still going to this day. But Glimmer just doesn't have that excuse, and many fans and critics, including myself, know that more could have been done with her if she was given the time. Twilight Sparkle having a student should have been the time where something major happens, and it has, but without her student, what is there to take? If I'm being honest, Season 6 reminds me of Season 1, and that is not a good sign because it feels like it's progressing backwards than forward compared to the last two seasons. Granted, I prefer Season 6 over Season 1, but it just doesn't feel right. You know, if there's one thing I could say, this looks like the opposite reaction of what Sunset Shimmer had to go through. Yeah, Sunset Shimmer started out terrible and then redeemed her at a fast pace. Glimmer started out good and also redeemed her at a fast pace. Granted, I prefer Glimmer over Sunset's redemption, but afterwards the two get different developments that the fans reacted to. Sunset got a lot for her reformation because she had so much time to develop on that. People were so excited on that. Granted, that could be because she is in movies and they have a lot more time to do with her character compared to a TV show with its 22-minute format. Glimmer got the opposite and had mixed results on whether to like her as a hero or not. It didn't help with the 5 episodes with her being a ghost for the rest of the season. However, with how the season finale ended, I got a feeling that we will probably see more of her in the future knowing how her role has changed a bit. Will it be for the better? Who knows, as we have to wait and see. But however, judging the character now, we deserve a lot better. As a fan of Glimmer, I feel that Season 6 should have been made with her in mind. But now that it's all done, all I hope is that the future of Season 7 continues to build on what Season 6 has started. Whether you like the character or not, we can all agree that Glimmer didn't have enough time to last an impact. I'm sorry if this ends up sounding like more of the negativity that she gets, but it's not without reason despite having some of those who only look for the worst of it. But hey, don't feel bad, Glimmer fans. We are still going to see her in the show from the looks of it, and there's still hope that they might give her more characterization. Hopefully they don't ignore her again. But until then, this is Mark, aka the Wolf Pony here, and I hope the next day will be even better. See ya!
And truth be